Art in 5. Edvard Munch. Edvard Munch was a Norwegian painter born in 1863 in the small town of Adelsbruck. He was the second of 5 children, and his family was plagued by tragedy throughout his childhood. His mother died of tuberculosis when he was just 5 years old, and his older sister Sophie died of the same disease when he was 14. These early losses would deeply influence Munch's art, which often explored themes of illness, death, and despair. Despite his difficult upbringing, Munch showed an early talent for drawing and painting. He enrolled at the Royal School of Art and Design in Kristiania, now Oslo, in 1881, where he studied under the painter Christian Krogh. It was during this time where he began to develop his own unique style, which combined elements of Impressionism and Symbolism. In the 1980s, Munch began to create some of his most famous works, including The Scream. This iconic painting, which depicts a figure with a distorted face and open mouth, has become an emblem of modern anxiety and alienation. Munch created several versions of the painting, including one that he inscribed with the words, "Could only have been painted by a madman." Some critics say this is evidence of Munch's own mental instability, while others say it's a commentary on the state of modern society. Munch's personal life was often tumultuous. He suffered from chronic depression and anxiety, and he struggled with alcoholism and addiction throughout much of his life. He had several tumultuous relationships with women, including Tola Larsen, who shot him in the hand after a heated argument. Despite these difficulties, Munch remained deeply committed to his art, and he continued to paint even as he battled his demons. In addition to his paintings, Munch also created a series of prints that are now considered masterpieces of the medium. His woodcuts and lithographs often featured stark black and white imagery that was both haunting and powerful. Munch's style was heavily influenced by the Symbolist movement, which was popular in Europe at the time. His work often featured strong, sweeping lines, distorted figures, and vivid colors, which gave his paintings a sense of intensity and emotion. Some of Munch's most famous works include The Scream, perhaps Munch's most iconic painting. The Scream depicts a figure on a bridge screaming in anguish. The painting is often interpreted as a representation of modern anxiety and alienation, and has become a symbol of existential dread. Madonna. This painting depicts a woman with a halo around her head holding a baby. The figures are distorted and elongated, giving the painting a sense of otherworldliness. The painting has been interpreted as a comment on the nature of motherhood and the role of women in society. The Dance of Life. This painting depicts a group of figures dancing in a circle with a skeleton figure standing in the center. The painting is often interpreted as a commentary on the inevitability of death and the fleeting nature of human existence. Puberty. This painting depicts a young girl standing in front of a mirror, holding her hands over her breasts. The figure is distorted and elongated, giving the painting a sense of unease. The painting has been interpreted as a commentary on the nature of sexuality and the transition from childhood to adulthood. Ashes. This painting depicts a woman laying on a bed, surrounded by the ashes of a fire. The painting is often interpreted as a commentary on the destructive nature of love and the pain of loss. Munch's work was controversial in its time, as it often dealt with taboo subjects and challenged traditional artistic conventions. Munch's influence can be seen in the work of countless artists who followed in his footsteps. His willingness to explore dark and taboo subjects paved the way for later artists like Francis Bacon and Cindy Sherman, while his use of bold, expressive brushstrokes anticipated the rise of Expressionism and Abstract Expressionism. Munch died in 1944 at the age of 80, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate and inspire audiences around the world. His work continues to be exhibited in major museums and galleries, and his influence can be felt in everything from film to fashion to music. Despite his personal struggles, Munch remained true to his vision throughout his life, creating art that was both deeply personal and universal in its appeal. Art in 5. Edvard Munch.